Cindy here. Welcome. It's 2020. Yay! Welcome to this topic. I have gotten so many emails about this, about talking about how to attract lasting love this year so it manifests itself and only date emotionally available men. Okay, so I'm excited to chat with you guys and jump right in. So first off, I want to talk about how do you attract lasting love? What does that look like? So a couple things, and these are things that I have my clients do, is you want to write down a list, everything that you're seeking in a partner. Don't hold back. And look at that list, right? And sometimes this can be really difficult to do on your own, and pick out your top non-negotiables. I call that my fabulous five with my clients, and there's usually umbrellas underneath that. I do have some trainings on YouTube about that, so you can definitely look at those, as well as how do you want to feel in that relationship. So that's really, really uber important to access that feeling of how you want to feel. Okay, so knowing what you want, how you want to feel are two really important things. And when you have clarity on knowing what you want, knowing what your future vision is in life, how you see it, it's much, much easier to attract men that are on that same frequency as you. They have a similar idea as far as vision in life is concerned, and they tend to have a similar value system. So you want to be super clear on your values, what you're bringing in, and you might even be afraid of that. So you feel that fear and you do it anyway, and you're continually. So the next thing is about, you also have standards and values, right? And you know how to enforce those standards and values. And and that looks like boundary setting. And this is super important when you're attracting lasting love, is to know that you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, especially in the beginning. And part of the reason for that is because if you do that, you can easily be disillusioned and disappointed. And I get it. It's a lot of times we don't want to deal with this. You meet somebody, you think he's great, and you put all your eggs in that basket. But what can happen is that you are ultimately dating somebody based on chemistry or that initial connection, but not knowing of, are we truly compatible? Do we really want similar things? Are we on the same page in life? And, going a bit deeper with that, if you are somebody that is in, somewhere in your mid-30s, 40s, 50s, and onward, you have experienced a stage in your life where there wasn't all this ghosting, people dating multiple people. You had a much easier time with knowing what someone's intentions were. And there wasn't, all these options as far as dating is concerned. Nowadays there is many more options, many more ways to meet people. It's easier to be flaky, ghosty, and emotionally unavailable. So when you decide, I really want an available relationship, you get to tune into that daily. It takes work upon you. So you decide, yes, this is what I want. Secondly, you get to work on manifesting that. So that is also, that looks like visualizing, how does that feel to be connected to this person? How do I want to feel in this relationship, and practice? I also, I recommend meditation. I recommend visualization that will also support you in a knowing, an inner knowing. Now, when you start to flex that muscle, like anything else, like dating, like getting to know people, it's like if you've never really gotten yourself out there and dated that much before, you go into relationship to relationship, or you go through long periods of time being single, whatever it is, it can feel a little uncomfortable. So when you have this vibration of asking, even in a meditation, like, give me an inner knowing. I would love to have an inner knowing. Ask for an inner knowing, and trust yourself in the process, as well as, get support too. I mean, this is what I think is, relationships are the most important area of your life. So taking your time to create them and utilizing those gut feelings in the dating process, which is going to lead me to the next thing, is how to make sure that you're only dating emotionally available men. So what does your intuition look like? And this can be tough if you feel like you've made decisions in the past where you haven't trusted yourself, or you think men are a certain way, are really great in the beginning, only to be fooled, right? Or only to have him, start being flaky or inconsistent. So look at your history and know that. But we can oftentimes, as you're dating somebody, you feel it. And a lot of times what can happen when you really, really want a loving, committed partnership, you can easily start to convince yourself, oh, this is it, this can be it. He's a really great guy. He's got a lot of great things. He's a family guy. He's saying all the right things, right? So I am going to support you in how to set yourself up for success. So, there's a manifestation process. There's a dating process. There's an energetic, not only energetic, but physical energy of moving forward. Right? Now, this is really key. Letting go of your attachment to the outcome. This is so, so key, because if you're like, he needs to be here by April so that, he can go with me to that wedding, or, whatever it is. Sure, it can happen. It can manifest itself really quickly. I've seen it happen with my clients where it literally took hold very, very quickly. Although my clients were also doing their personal work around standing in their power, being really clear about what it is they want, and really intentional around their dating, right? So this is the next step. Being really intentional about your dating, knowing what you want, and not jumping right in. So that is a super important part. And, when we have those higher standards and you're not settling for things, settling for less than what you really desire in relationship. You start to learn how to even parent yourself, start to learn how to show up as that empowered woman, and you're building that flexibility, that you're building that muscle around self-trust. And that also means really getting intimate with this process. So that can be another thing, another challenging thing. So you get to date, you get to get yourself out there. And, the caveat to being in a world of, the swiping culture and online and people meeting that way, I'm going to, tell you a couple things to do to set yourself up for greater success. I recommend getting on paying apps. Pay a little bit to date, because typically the people that pay something take this a little bit more seriously. Even if it's $10, $20, whatever it is, you are taking that more seriously. Also, something else that's really great to do is get on some niched apps. So there is a dating app for just about everything. I mean, some that are really popular and my clients have been successful on: Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, Coffee Meets Bagel, Match, OkCupid. All of those are great. Also, there's more niched apps. There's Meet Mindful. There's silver singles. There's people that are, there's traveling singles. There's farmers only. There are niched out apps. And there probably is something for just about every kind of area. And if you especially know the kind of people that you connect with more, that's even better. So trying out some different things, and also letting the people know in your network you're single, you're looking, and what might be coming up for you is everybody knows I'm single and I'm interested in dating. Remind them. People need pop-up reminders because you're not top of mind all the time, right? So remember that. Remind them. I know, I'll share a quick story. I think I've shared this before, but I love this story. This woman that she was really on a quest to meet her man. And she was like, okay, so I'm going to try a variety of different ways. But what she did, she put a little, resume about herself. And this reminds me, I want to share something else with you guys. Put a little resume about herself together and what she's really seeking in a partner. And she sent it out to 50 friends, colleagues, 50 people essentially. And one of them was her mom. And she had several dates that she was set up upon. And the one that ended up to be the most close to, what she was looking for, closely connected, was the guy her mom set her up with, ironically, right? But, and she didn't end up meeting her guy. That wasn't how she met him. But it was a way of supporting her moving forward, right? So another thing that's really, really important, as you're out there dating, you make sure that you put, I am seeking a partner whom is X, whom is, values integrity, is seeking, travel, extraordinary. You want to put deeper things about what you're seeking. And that can go into, what do I value? What do I value in my life? I value deep conversations. Many of my clients, they're all about personal development and continuing to improve themselves. So putting that down in a dating app is important. So those are ways to attract your partner. Okay, so how do you know if he's emotionally available? Here's some ways to do it without even going out on a date. So a couple ways to do that. Connect, connect with, you want to connect. Obviously, if you're on a dating app, you're connecting. Hey, how are you? Ask them a thought-provoking question. Ask them something like, I like this question, so you can use it. Like, if time or money wasn't ever an issue, what would you do in your life daily? How would you live your life? Where would you live? Without asking too big of a question around that. Excuse me. Without, asking too many questions beyond that. And see what they say. If they're like, oh, I live on the beach and, drink coconut water or what, look at their answer, because you can tell a lot about someone. So you ask a thought-provoking question. You can also, I like to turn things into a phone conversation, or, moving things forward. And there are going to be some people that are emotionally available on dating apps or dating sites that fall through the cracks, and that is what happens, right? And, I was thinking about this. I was talking to a client of mine this morning, and she was saying, gosh, I've connected with some men that seem really great, and they've told me, all of these men have told me they've recently met someone that they're looking to explore something with, which is great because it means that you're actually connecting with emotionally available men. So it's not a bad thing, right? How do you know if he's emotionally available and ready for love? Well, you ask him about his past relationships. And some people might think that that's not appropriate. I do. You want to say what did you learn from your last relationship? And if they don't address what they learned, they probably didn't actually do any work around it. And they might be in a victim-like conversation. Well, she cheated on me. I learned not to trust a woman like her that's XYZ. That means that maybe they didn't do a whole lot of self-discovery around that, because, cheating, for example, there's always two to tango around that. Not that I'm an advocate for it, so I'm not. And it's taking a look at that. And, looking at your own relationship patterns. Have I attracted a lot of emotionally unavailable men? So where is it about me that's been emotionally unavailable? Have I been in an emotionally available relationship? What does that feel like? And even if you haven't, that's okay. It's really thinking about how do I get there? And part of that is through the process of being vulnerable, which can be challenging too. What does that look like, right? So you want to look for, the number one thing to look for in a man that is not emotionally available is emotional charge around his past. So whether he has significant emotions around his ex one way or the other, lots of care, lots of hate. There's emotional charge. Typically, they're not over the hump, or they haven't quite done the work around the relationship. They haven't done a lot of work around that. Second is what is, so you can ask him, like, what are you looking for? Or do you see yourself in a loving, committed relationship? And some men will actually tell you, no, I don't. And believe them. Or so if there's blame, if there's this, and if you're communicating online, you want to turn that into a phone conversation, a quick 10-minute phone conversation before you meet. If they're flaky, if they're, playing this, I'm showing up, and then you don't hear from them for 3 weeks, they're probably not emotionally available. An emotionally available guy, he wants something, and he actually wants something with you. He sees the value in you and is progressing the relationship forward. Now, there's a lot more that I could share around how do you create deeper connection, and I will definitely do a video around, more on that later, especially with texting culture around, dating multiple people. It's okay to date multiple people, being open about that. And this is what's super important. Don't put all your emotions into one guy. Don't give too much too fast. Let him put the effort forward to really work for it as well. And if you're in this space and this resonates with you and you want extraordinary love and you feel like you need a bit of support and direction, awesome. I'm going to put my link below where you can schedule a complimentary love roadmap call with me, where I will give you some really great, straight to the point, honest coaching around supporting you on your next steps to creating extraordinary love. I hope this helps, and post below if you have questions or you're feeling a bit confused in this area of your life and you would like some deeper support. Just post it. Because one, if you have questions and you're holding back, you could actually be holding back on helping someone else to really get more support around this. So even sometimes it's just a simple question and a couple little tweaks to open yourself up to really bring that in. So I hope this helps you. And please, 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 if you are feeling called to get more support, then book a call and let's dive into that deeper. All right, lots of love to you guys. Mwah. Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.